All right, let's do a quick and practical HR health check. Today, we're putting your Nevada Employee Handbook on the exam table for its 2026 compliance checkup. We're going to see if it's truly protecting your organization or maybe creating some unforeseen risks. Let's get started.
So let's just get right to it. It's 2026, and I have a direct question for every HR professional out there. Is your handbook, the very document that's supposed to be your shield, actually creating new compliance risks? Let's find out.
Here's what we're covering today, and we're going to move fast. We'll hit wildfire smoke safety, Nevada's unique overtime rules, untangle the 2 different state-mandated leave laws, nail down final pay procedures, and then wrap it all up with a super handy handbook update checklist. First up, this is a big one, especially if you have any outdoor workers. Let's talk about wildfire smoke safety and your obligations under SB 260. This is an absolutely critical addition to your safety policies. So the magic number you need to burn into your memory? It's 150. That's the Air Quality Index, or AQI, that acts as the first trigger. As soon as the air quality hits 150, a whole set of responsibilities kicks in for your outdoor teams. And your response needs to follow a 5-part workflow. First, your handbook needs a policy summary that points to a more detailed written program. Then you've got to train employees on the risks and procedures. And you need a solid 2-way communication system, plus a clear procedure for employees to report any symptoms without any fear of retaliation. Now, here's a key detail you've got to keep an eye on. We know there are different response tiers, but the Division of Industrial Relations is still finalizing the exact AQI level that will require a full stop work order. So stay tuned for that, because non-compliance can lead to some really significant penalties, up to a maximum per violation.
Okay, let's switch gears from safety to payroll. We're diving into Nevada overtime, and folks, this is a huge one. It's probably one of the highest risk areas for costly mistakes, and getting it wrong can really open you up to wage and hour claims.
So here is the formula you absolutely have to nail down. In Nevada, daily overtime applies if a non-exempt employee's hourly rate is less than 1.5 times the state minimum wage. With the minimum wage at $12, you do the math, that gives you that critical threshold of $18 an hour. Anyone making less than that is eligible for daily OT. And this is where Nevada gets, well, unique. A workday is not a calendar day. It's a rolling 24-hour clock that starts the moment an employee clocks in. This is so important for your scheduling and payroll teams to understand.
Of course, there's the common 410 schedule exception. That's fine, but, and this is a big but, it requires mutual agreement between you and the employee. And if they work beyond that scheduled 10 hours, daily OT kicks right in. So what's the best practice here? Absolutely, 100% document that agreement.
All right, let's move on to paid leave. And listen up, because this is crucial. Nevada has 2 totally separate leave laws. You cannot mix them up. We're going to start with the general paid leave requirement, which applies to employers who have 50 or more employees.
You've got 2 ways you can handle this. You can use the accrual method, where employees earn leave for every hour they work, or you can just keep things simple and front-load the full 40 hours at the start of the benefit year. It's your choice.
Now, your handbook policy has to spell these rules out very clearly. The leave is usable on their 90th day of employment. The employee does not have to give you a reason for taking it. You can cap both usage and carryover at 40 hours a year. And, a big one for payroll, that available balance has to be on every single pay stub.
Okay, now for that second leave law I mentioned. And I'm going to say it again. This is completely separate. We're talking about domestic and assault leave. It's a protected leave, and you absolutely cannot lump this in with your general paid leave. It needs its own distinct section in your handbook. So, when does an employee become eligible? Just like the other leave, it's after they've been with you for 90 days.
And the amount of leave here is significant. We're talking about up to 160 hours in a 12-month period. Think about that. That's 4 full weeks of work.
So, from an HR admin side, here's what you need to know. The leave can be paid or unpaid. Your choice. You can ask for documentation, but you must treat everything with the utmost confidentiality. Retaliation is a huge no-no, and you've got to keep these records on file for 2 years. All right, let's talk about the end of the employment life cycle, final pay procedures. And the way to think about this isn't just about cutting a check. It's about avoiding some serious financial exposure from waiting time penalties. The law is super clear here, and there are 2 different timelines your policy has to mirror. If you discharge an employee, you owe them their final wages immediately. If they quit, the wages are due by their next regular payday or within 7 days, whichever is sooner.
And why is this so critical? Because being late isn't just a small fixed fine. No, it's what we call waiting time wage exposure. It just keeps accruing at the regular pay rate for up to 30 days. You can see how that could add up really, really fast.
Whew. Okay, we just went through a lot, so let's pull it all together. Here's your Handbook update checklist, something you can use right after we're done here to get started. Okay, here we go. First, your safety policy. Add a summary of that SB 260 Wildfire Smoke Program. Next, your overtime policy. Make sure you clarify that $18 an hour daily OT threshold and define that rolling 24-hour workday. If you have 50-plus employees, check your paid leave policy for all those rules we discussed. Then, your leave of absence policy. Add a totally separate section for domestic violence and sexual assault leave. And last but not least, your final pay policy. Double-check that your timelines for discharge and quit match Nevada law.
Look, your handbook is a living document, right? It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. It needs these regular checkups to stay healthy and compliant. So, after everything we just talked about, I'm curious, what's the very first update you're going to make?